Awesome. Okay, we're starting to get some people trickled in, so we'll get started. Thanks everybody for being here. Excited to have Sunny and Cameron on with us to talk about building a digital footprint for your restoration business specifically. We've worked with them for a long time, really great. They know their stuff, and they've also worked with hundreds of restoration companies, and so they are very well versed in creating that digital footprint and online and your website and PPC and all these things you need to do to build your business and generate new leads without spending all this money. We see a lot of people on the Facebook groups and different forums who are like, we tried did Google ads and we spent $5,000 or $6,000 and we got no leads and it was horrible and we're never doing that again. That is true if you don't know what you're doing, and these guys are definitely the people that can help you sort that out and point you in the right direction or do full service and lots of different things, and they'll kind of talk about that. So they gave me a thing to read. I'm kind of going off script right now, but Sunny and Cameron are marketing consultants who help local businesses increase revenue and streamline their lead generation process through the respective marketing agencies, Cosmo, California, and Growth Marketing Media. They've helped over 500 local businesses generate new business and currently, through an ongoing collaboration, are able to offer a complete suite of tools and services addressing the unique needs of restoration companies, from digital and print marketing to CRM and system optimization. See, I was not lying. They do work with restoration companies and they're really good at what they do. So, with all of that, Sunny and Cameron, I'm going to turn it over to you guys and let it go, and then let me know when you need me to advance the slide.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for the introduction there, Josh. Appreciate it, and thanks for having both of us on. And you can hop on over to the next slide for sure. And like Josh was saying, we've worked with restoration clients here for over 14 years. Cameron specifically has been in the industry for quite a long time, even working in roofing before, running his own agency. And myself worked with local businesses for the past decade, where we're over 500 local businesses that we've worked with and really helped them out a lot. And as of today, we're working with over 100 restoration clients throughout the United States. And what we're really thinking about when we started putting this webinar together and kind of giving you guys information, and we want you guys to be able to walk away from this call feeling dangerous, having really good foundational information about what works, what doesn't work, what are some of the tricks that are happening inside of the digital marketing space. So that, I mean, if you're already a thriving business and you're working with a provider, you're going to be able to have better conversations with them. You're going to be more educated. You're going to be able to hold them accountable. And if you're kind of just starting out and wanting to do some of these things on your own, you're going to be able to do some of that. You're going to be able to take some of those first steps and not make the mistakes that a lot of people do make when they're doing those things. So we're really excited to be here and excited to share this information with you. And with that, I'm going to hand it off here to Cameron.
Thanks, Sonny. Yeah, Josh, really love being here. And if we could go to that next slide, we'll get right into it. So, as so many of you know, I mean, this industry has just gotten so competitive. I mean, whether it's the lead generators, Inquiry, Angie's List, Thumbtack, 33 Mile, eLocal, Service Direct, some of these, depending on your market, could be charging upwards of $2,500 per lead. It has gotten just unbelievable. And it's crazy that some of these lead generation companies and some of these markets are charging up to $2,500 a lead now. That's why it is so important to get a grasp on your online presence and start generating work this way. We eat, breathe, and sleep restoration leads. This is literally what we do. I mean, like Sunny had mentioned, we work with over 100, we're at actually 130 now restoration companies that we work with. So we see every scenario, whether it's you're at 500,000 in revenue or you're at 25 million in revenue. I mean, we've seen every scenario, every situation that you can possibly think of over the years, and I can tell you it all boils down to one thing: getting your online presence in a good place, because we're meeting with probably about 70 to 100 different restoration companies that inquire with us every month. And so many of them are relying on either lead generation sources, they're relying on TPAs, program work, which, as we know, I mean, some people love it, some people hate it. A lot of people that inquire with us are trying to cut back on that because of profitability and wanting to be in charge of the jobs. So And then, of course, you have the referrals and just your brand. And a lot of you, I'm sure, have a really, really strong brand, get a lot of referrals, and that's good. But if you really want to grow your company, I mean, in the coming days and age, who is going to be replacing now the boomer generation? And we're going to have the Gen Zs, we're going to have the millennials, and these are people, and even I mean, everyone now is using the internet to find people that they're wanting to work with, whether it's a restaurant or a plumber or a restoration company or a roofer. I mean, this is just becoming the go-to place that people are going. And this is why generating your online presence and really getting into that is so important. So why do digital marketing? I mean, some of these things are right here. Initiate more phone calls and requests to contact your business because that's what we want. So many of you know, I mean, that's what you're looking for is the calls. That's what people are paying up to $2,500 a lead for through these lead generators is to just get their phone to ring. So what does it do? It generates more calls, grows your network of potential clients, and trust. This is a big, big one. Even if you are buying leads on lead generation sites, or let's say, you get if you get a referral, they should hopefully trust you already because that source is obviously a layer of trust. But having those reviews, building your review count, especially on like the Google Business Profile, we'll get more into that, are so, so important. I wanted to get into a story. So if you go under here, you'll see Kentucky Restoration Business generated 900K in 9 months from Google alone. So this was a very, very skeptical guy. Because we have so many people watching this, I didn't want to give his exact business name because I didn't want him to get flooded with calls on how it's going. But this is a company that we've worked with since October of last year. He was very, very skeptical, like to the point where he had been burned by marketing companies. He had been just not had a good experience all around in the past when it came to trying to generate work online. So he was very skeptical. And to be completely honest, he was a challenge to even work with for the first few months because he was having a very hard time trusting the process. And we all understood that too because of his experiences in the past. I mean, he had spent tens of thousands of dollars in the past with very little return, and unfortunately had not worked with people that were really experts in what they did. But over 9 months, he was able to generate $900,000 in sold business for restoration work. Now that came in a mixture of fire, water, and restoration jobs. So he did the mitigation and the build back. I know some of you just do the mitigation, some of you do both. But he was doing both to generate that 900,000. And now, I mean, it's just a game changer. I mean, he's just investing more into this. He's actually opening up a new brand now as well in a new location. So it's something that can truly, truly change your business and add. I mean, in his case, it added 900,000 in revenue in 9 months. So it's huge. Yeah, Josh, but we can get into the next slide and kind of go through how we do some of this and how you can even do some. So what are the top four channels for restoration? So this is not in this industry, it's emergency services. So we are talking about they're an emergency, and those are the good leads. Like a flood happened, water's leaking, their water heater broke, a pipe burst in the winter. These are the kind of calls you want. So where are these going to come from? They're going to come from places where they're going to be looking for it online, not like a Facebook ad where they're just scrolling their feed and hopefully watching a reel or a TikTok dance. That's good for building your brand, but I don't think it's really going to generate many leads in emergencies. So that's where building out. So we have four different channels. So number one, the website. So this is where you can really establish yourself as really an authority in the market. I mean, a lot of people will land on your website and kind of make a decision within a few seconds on if they're even going to trust you, just based off of that. I mean, if they land on your website and it doesn't even load, or like there's things missing on the page, or I mean, we get on websites all the time that are completely messed up, and if they're getting on your website, it's just not a very good sign that they're working with a company that has things together, because that's
Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead, Cameron. Finish your sentence and I'll jump in.
Yeah, go ahead. No. Yeah, did you have something to add on that?
No, I say it's great. We likewise, as Learn to Restore, work with a ton of restoration contractors, and that's one thing we see all the time is websites where they had GoDaddy Arrow, the AI thing, or they found someone on Fiverr, and when a customer is standing knee deep in water and they need somebody, like you said, if their website isn't up to par, and like I can't trust these people because they make a split second decision, they'll go to someone else, and so it's like that's the first representation of your brand that they have, and we see that all the time is your website can really be that first lead gen of making sure it's like, hey, we have the basics of our website down. We're going to be professional when we show up. It's the opposite. If you're like, hey, this website, I don't totally know, and they show up and you're not sure. So I completely agree with you. I see that all the time in the industry.
Yeah. If you're looking for the types of leads that are going to beat you up on the price and try and get the cheapest possible price, then they might be looking for that. They're like, okay,
Yep.
this company seems like they might be just getting started, or they might, be more affordable. So I'm gonna give them a call. But if you want like quality, good leads, and people land on your website, I mean that is going to for sure be like a qualifying factor. The Google Business Profile. So at one point it was called Google My Business, but Google Business Profile is very, very important because this is where all of your reviews are. This is also showing up higher and higher on the page. I mean, now everyone knows about, and if you don't know, there's the top three, which are called the map pack on Google's platform. So like when you Google water cleanup near me, or water restoration company, or help with flood, like whatever you Google, it's going to show the maps right under actually the LSA usually, and sometimes there's a little bit of pay-per-click in there too, which we'll get into the local service ads. But the Google Business Profile we see generate tons of calls when you're ranking in that map pack. It's a game changer, and that's because that's where your reviews are. So that's an important thing to focus on, and we'll get more into that as we kind of get into the Google Business Profile. Pay-per-click. So this is where Sunny is a total expert. I mean, he's going to be going through all of this. I know many of you have had terrible experiences with pay-per-click, and Sunny is going to explain all of this and why it's very, very important to get your pay-per-click down right. Because as you all know, pay-per-click, you could easily spend thousands of dollars in a matter of minutes and get no return. So like it's very, very important to have your pay-per-click dialed. And when we say dialed, I mean dialed from start to finish. So from them seeing the ad, what ad they're seeing, from them going into the landing page, what landing page they're seeing, and for them actually making the phone call. I mean, if all of that is not dialed in, then you're just going to waste a ton of money. Then local service ads. That's a pay-per-lead platform, which newer than pay-per-click. I mean, pay-per-click is Google's like really old channel for ads, but local service ads it's not like new anymore, it's newer. Um, and it's important because you are paying per lead. So it helps you kind of diversify between pay-per-click and local service ads because it is a flat cost per lead. Now that lead cost can vary in the market, and we'll kind of get into all that as we get into there. But yeah, we can go into the next slide about websites. So, yeah, the cool thing about a website, it can literally be your 24/7 salesperson. I mean, with everything we have going with AI, chatbots, I mean, all these different things that you can do on the website. But more importantly, just because as we know, I mean, people just want to call. I mean, no one is in a flood or disaster and they're like sitting there chatting with a chatbot. I mean, that might be like a mold remediation job or something along those lines. But if you're really looking for those water losses, and some of you might be mold only, and that's okay. I mean, those jobs on mold a lot of times will be more inquiry based, where they're okay with maybe getting a few estimates. They're okay with asking more questions. But with the water side, if you're looking for those kind of jobs, those are going to be more of those emergency ones. So your website and how it's presented is very, very important. And it really can be your 24/7 salesperson to where it's driving people to call you. That's our main goal on the website. Drive people to call you, build trust. Drive people to call you and build trust. So great and a great call to actions, easy to contact you in an emergency, just like we said right there. We want to set it up with SEO in mind. For those of you that know what SEO is, some of you may have had bad experiences with SEO too, because there's a lot of, frankly, just people that have no clue what they're doing when it comes to SEO. It's just it's something that you can say you know what you're doing, and anyone can try take a shot at it, and it's kind of like a unknown thing. Like this is Google's algorithm. Like we're working on it. Wait another 3 months and show up. But if you really dial in your SEO and actually find someone, whether you find someone that you hire internally or hire a company to do this for you, when you really dial in your SEO, you are going to get calls. And those calls that we see that come from the website SEO, sometimes those are the types of leads that are like property managers because they're the ones that are digging really, really deep into who they're going to call to work on their portfolio. So some of the biggest leads we've seen come through have been through website SEO because it is typically something that people are going to want to do a little more research on. So they might scroll farther down the page because, as some of you might know, website SEO has been lowered on the page. So it's not like this is something that drives you more leads than Google Business Profile because Google Business Profile typically is going to drive you more leads than website SEO from a local SEO perspective. But with the website, some of those big leads, the biggest leads we've ever seen, and consistently, they're coming from the website because people are, and we track all of that. So, and you should. If you're not doing this already and you have a great website, you should be tracking where everything's coming because how are you going to be making database decisions if you don't know where your calls are coming from? So if your calls are coming from the website, you should know that they came from the website and came from organic SEO. That way you can attribute value to that. So that's that. These are all things that you should have implemented on the website. So how you can do it yourself. So we want to provide as much value as we can because we're not here to just pitch you on using us or even hiring anyone for that matter. I mean, if you want to go out and build your own website on WordPress, if you have the time to do that, you absolutely can do that. I mean, there is builders now that and there's even themes that you can utilize that can help. Now, implementing some of the more technical SEO, you might want to consult with someone and get like an expert on that. And even on the website, I mean, it just kind of depends on what you're comfortable with from a development standpoint. Um, because as Josh had mentioned, I mean, a lot of times you see websites that just are really, really bad. And it is the first impression that people get a lot of times. And then the keywords to target. So this is where you don't want to stuff your website with keywords. It's called keyword stuffing, and it's like really a no-no with like Google's algorithm. But you do want to build your content and write your content around keywords that you're trying to rank for. So let's say you're in Birmingham, Alabama, and you want to rank for Birmingham water cleanup or water cleanup Birmingham or water restoration Birmingham. You want to incorporate that within your content without overdoing it. You don't want to just put, I'm a Birmingham water cleanup company that can help you with Birmingham water cleanup. And if you ever need Birmingham water cleanup, give us a call. I mean, I'm sure all of us have seen that. And the days that that works are over. It doesn't work anymore. So if you have that on your website, I suggest deleting it. If you have keyword stuffing on there. Yeah. Well, yeah, we can get into the next slide though on Google Business Profile.
And real quick, Cameron, people hear, I agree, WordPress is great. People hear WordPress. Can you give a quick 30-second overview? What is WordPress? Because we hear it all the time. They run a lot of the web. What is it in a nutshell?
Yeah, so WordPress is a development platform that you can actually build your website within. So essentially, WordPress is like the platform that you can build your website on. So there's many different builder platforms. There's Wix, which Wix is easy. Like all of you could probably go on Wix, or I mean, it's just so simple. And Wix can do everything. Like, it can send emails, do everything, but it doesn't do anything great. It's kind of does everything mediocrely. There's also Squarespace. There's all of these different website platforms that you can build your website. Now, with WordPress, it offers a lot of custom functionality that you can do in Wix and Squarespace and some of these other ones, but it's still not as efficient and as effective. and it's honestly not really built for it. So you kind of have to like rig it to do it. We've seen some Wix websites with custom coding, and it's like rigged. Uh, but WordPress allows you, there's many different builders that you can utilize. There's a whole network of plugins and different, and of course you don't want to be plugin heavy on your website. And I don't want to get too deep into the weeds on it, but WordPress is essentially a place, yeah, where you can build your website, and then hosting your website is done on a different place, unless you can actually use WordPress.com, which is basically WordPress that charges you money to use WordPress. You don't need to actually pay money to use WordPress. You can install free versions of WordPress through WordPress.org. But that's what WordPress is, really.
Awesome. Thank you. So, and then just one follow-up. So if someone right now has a website built on Wix or Webflow or the GoDaddy website builder, would you recommend they start completely from scratch? Is it okay with what they're using? And then maybe when they have the budget or the time to migrate to WordPress, I guess what I'm getting at is if somebody has something already, would they be okay continuing to use that until they're ready to migrate to something else? What is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and look, if you go on your website and it's not like, if it doesn't have those red flags of like this website sucks,
Yeah.
then you're probably a little better off. Then you're probably fine waiting a little bit. It's not like it's like urgent, but you might not be getting very much SEO benefit from that site. Now, Webflow, I have heard some good things about Webflow. So I'm not saying Webflow is bad, but
Yeah.
we've done an audit across the entire internet in many, many different markets. And Google consistently is ranking WordPress websites. So that's why we're choosing WordPress particularly.
Okay.
We've, yeah, we're seeing, I mean, unless you're building a custom, completely custom coded website, which then you're going to need a really, really big budget. This is the best. This is the best option based on our research.
Okay.
But that's a good point. Do you need a website in order to actually get calls? The answer is no. We actually do get calls on Google Business Profile and local service ads and PPC. Now, if you're running PPC, you do need a landing page. So you're going to need to build something.
Yeah.
Uh, but the fact is that you can still get calls without a website, but it's like it's one additional layer of adding more credibility, more trust, and that's where we see some of the biggest leads come in.
Love it. Thank you. Yeah. So the skinny of it is, yeah, if you have something else besides WordPress, it can work, but you recommend WordPress. And I'm sure we've all been there where we try to find a local service business and they maybe have a Facebook page and a Google business profile. And you're like, they could be great, but at least for me, I always try to find someone with an actual website and like, hey, they took the time. They're here. They're a legit company. So, I totally see where you're coming from on that.
Yeah,
So,
and if you have nothing, I mean, sometimes what we do is at least create like a couple page website. It's not like it needs to be like a 50-page website
yep.
off the bat. It could just be something relatively simple, like a couple pages, just to look more legit.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. All right. I'll move on. I'll stop talking and move on to the next slide for you.
Okay, no, I appreciate your comments on it. So, Google Business Profile. I mean, this is where really you can start to make it rain with leads. I mean, yeah, we just did a check-in call with a client actually that got 91 calls to their Google Business Profile tracked with call tracking in a market, Dallas, which if any of you are in Dallas, you know how hard Dallas is. And if any of you aren't in Dallas, so I mean, that's the market where people are paying 1,500 and upwards of $2,500 per lead from lead generators. It's just absolutely nuts. But Google Maps did that. And this is a company that also was extremely skeptical, very, very, very skeptical. He had worked with multiple companies in the past and uh, just didn't really see much. So, but the map pack is so, so important. Getting in this place, arguably, this is going to generate you probably the most leads for the least amount of money because I mean, you're just showing up at the very top. It's with all of your reviews. It's not an ad. So, I mean, it checks all the boxes. Because there is certain people that just wouldn't call an ad. Like even my grandmother has ad blocker on her computer and wouldn't call an ad. But I mean, who's not going to call the Google Business Profile? I mean, it's kind of like it's a no-brainer. I mean, even when I'm searching for something, I'm searching on Google Business Profile. Now with that, now even local service ads are showing up in Google Business Profile, and they're making it a little tricky to even notice it. So that we'll get more into that when Sunny actually gets into the paid side, because the local service ads are even showing up in the maps now when you click on more businesses. Uh, but getting in that map pack is so important. Now, some of the things that you can do yourself, I want to get into this. Generating reviews. Now, reviews, the only reason why we don't see companies succeed that we work with, for the most part, we've done an audit of it. We have an 81% retention rate over 12 months as our last audit. And the people who didn't succeed are the ones that are not even getting any reviews. Like we're constantly asking them, please, like please get some reviews. And one of them we had the guy got a review and it was literally himself saying I thank you so much like for the great job that you did. And it was literally his business. He left his own business a review. It was the only review he got in 4 months. So don't be that guy. Definitely don't be that guy. It's better off just not even doing marketing at all if you're not planning on getting some sort of reviews because it's just not going to, quite honestly, it's just not going to work. I mean, would you call anyone that had zero reviews? I mean, you would be foolish to do that. So you have to get reviews. Now, people always ask us, how many reviews? How many reviews do I need to get? The answer is consistent reviews. So it's not like you need hundreds or thousands of reviews. You see some of these private equity companies or some of the serve pros that have been around forever, and they have hundreds and thousands of reviews. And some of them, I mean, and a lot of our clients have hundreds and even 1,000 reviews. But we're still generating good amounts of calls for people with even 15, 20, 40 reviews. And the key is getting consistent reviews. So don't wait 4 months and be the person that leaves yourself a review and then wonders why no one's calling you. Start getting consistent reviews immediately. So build out your Google Business Profile. Try and aim to get one review a week. If you can get one review a week, if you think about it from that perspective, you're getting 48 reviews a year. I mean, it's kind of going to build up fast. Or no, actually, you're getting 52 reviews a year. Sorry, there's 52 weeks in a year. I was thinking 4 weeks.
If you take a couple holidays off, you're at 42.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, 52 weeks a year. Yeah. Anyways, I'm thinking 4 weeks in a month. There's 48.
You're good.
Anyway.
I was
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to see if I missed. I'm like, oh, is there 48?
Yeah.
Okay. Glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, 52. But with that, I mean, let's say you aim for that because what should we always do? I mean, we want to set big targets because why not? I mean, I would rather set a target that's way up here and hit right here than set a target that's here and hit it every single time. So if you can just aim, get one review a week, that's your target. And let's say you miss that a few weeks, I mean, and you end up getting two reviews a month. You're still getting 24 reviews a year. So I mean, it's still good, and this is still something that we're going to be able to generate calls. The more reviews you get, though, truly, like they're making it more and more helpful to us. Really, I mean, reviews aren't the only thing, but I'm really harping on it because, as you can imagine, it's our biggest frustration. It's like the main reason why clients fail is because they don't get reviews, and we beg them constantly. Another one on the Google Business Profile is make sure that your name, address, and phone number line up on the internet and are congruent. This is a part of the ranking factor on the Google Business Profile. So if you have had a business that's been around for 10 years and you've had multiple addresses, multiple phone numbers, multiple names, who knows what is out there on the internet? So you need to do an audit of that and clean that up, contact those companies, those websites, those domain holders. This is something that every client that we have start, this is like the first thing we do. We have to do an audit and clean that all up because it's an important part of the ranking factor. And you could have been around for a year and still have inconsistencies. I mean, you could still have multiple phone numbers out there. I mean, And who knows what competitors created for you? I mean, there's a lot of shady companies out there that don't know how to do marketing very good, so they just spend their time trying to really sabotage other businesses. So they'll send black hat links to your website. They might create a bunch of listings that are all incorrect just to screw with you. We've seen this happen. So make sure it's accurate and make sure to audit that regularly because it is an important part. Citation profiles. So that is what you're auditing really is your citation profiles across the internet. And what a citation profile is just where your business is listed on the internet. So Nextdoor, Yelp, um, Angie, I mean, anywhere really that you can list your website, like the yellow pages, government listings. There's really thousands of places you can list your business. Now, not all citations are created equally. I mean, you don't want to just we get on some people's accounts when they hire us, and they're like, "Man, this marketing company didn't give me any calls, and like it was actually my rankings got worse." And we go and look, and they're like building citations in India. And we're like, man, I mean, no wonder why. Like, yeah, like you're literally getting your business featured in an Indian website and Pakistan website, and it's like, that's just not relevant to the United States at all. So we go in and just completely delete those. And but that's why you want to make sure they're relevant citations. You just want to put your business anywhere all across the internet. You want to make sure it lines up with what you're doing. Um, and then posts on it and writing SEO in mind. So if any of you don't know, on your Google business profile, you can actually make posts. So you can make updates for your business profile. And with that, it's important to actually write content around what you're trying to rank for. So if you're wanting to rank for water cleanup, write content around water cleanup. Don't keyword stuff it and say, water cleanup company, Birmingham, helping with water cleanup in Birmingham. Don't do that, but just write it in a way that's natural. I mean, that's what Google's looking for now. But just keep that in mind that you are wanting to target those keywords in a natural way. Um, and of course, we've gone through a little bit of how you can do that yourself, but really setting up the Google Business Profile. So any of you, if you don't have a Google Business Profile, like you should be doing that right now while I'm talking, going to business.google.com and just do it. Just get it set up. Uh, yeah, if you don't have that, do it for sure. And if you do have it, then of course take into consideration some of the things that I've been talking about. But if you don't have it, it's business.google.com. So Google has made it very hard to set up a new profile. They might flag you, they might flag you multiple times. Just don't worry. It'll all usually work out. If you have any trouble with that, you can always reach out to us afterwards and we can help you out with it. But they have made it more challenging because of all the lead gen companies, because of all the scams. They do make it more challenging where you do have to sometimes take a video of your business location and sometimes you have to send in business docs and so it can be but just don't be that person that doesn't set it up and then wonders why they're not having an online presence and just do whatever you need to do, get it set up, and that's it. I mean, just take it. Believe me, it is worth time of your day to do it. I can tell you that right now. It is definitely worth time of your day. Once you get it set up, and if you already have it set up, again, we talked about the reviews, get the reviews and get them consistently. Then post photos, post updates, post natural things like you and the team out at a job. Like take real photos. I mean, in a world saturated with AI, people are starving for real content. I mean, because people don't even know what's real and what's fake anymore. So if you take real actual photos that are clearly real of you and your team, it will go a long way. Uh, Now, if you don't want to do that, then there is stock photo options. So if you don't want to do that, there is stock photo options. And I understand not everyone's a photographer on here, and that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for you. It could be a blurry photo of you working on something, and it's still, at least the customer knows it's a real photo. I mean, AI didn't do that. Uh, so
Yeah.
like obviously,
Authenticity is a big thing for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Authenticity is a good thing. Now, don't go
Yeah.
around and try and take a bunch of blurry photos. I'm not telling you to do that. But yeah, anyways. So yeah, we can move forward if you didn't have anything on that, and let's Sonny take the floor.
Yeah. So jumping in here to pay per click. So this is where you're getting into a space where a lot of people can get burned here if they're working with an agency. You want to really be able to understand what is pay per click. A lot of people, they know that it's the first results that show up. It says sponsored, and you pay to get there. But really, how does it work? It's like a bid. Okay, so you can imagine like if you're back in times, people buying, it still happens now, people go and bid on paintings. It's the same sort of thing. You're bidding for someone to click on your link and go to your website. And so you're telling Google how much you're willing to spend. And now there's things like smart algorithms and things like that that help help you in doing that and being really responsive. But that's the basis of it. And why would you want to do something like this? It's it's kind of a shortcut in a way. So Cameron's been talking a lot about setting up your Google Business profile, creating your website, getting those to rank. Now, sometimes those can take time, and time might not be something that you have. You need to get some jobs in. You're just starting off, and you want to be at the top of the results. This is going to let you do that. That's going to make sure that you're there. And when someone types in something like water damage in my city, help now, you're there. And they have the opportunity to click on your link and then go to your website. Now, one of the things that you want to really be doing here, and what's great about this, is that you get to pick what you show for and what you don't show for. And you also can set up, if you're detailed enough, this we recommend doing this, is that you have an ad that matches the intent. We talk a lot about intent in pay-per-click. What is the person wanting when they're searching this particular phrase? And so you can customize your advertisement to match that intent and answer that question or desire or need that they have in that moment. So that means if someone's typing in things that have to do with mold and repairing that, that's going to be a much different ad that you're going to show them than someone that's typing in water damage, my house is flooded right now. So you need to be able to put yourself in the shoes of the searcher and create messages to them that allow them to connect and understand that, hey, I want to click on this, even though I see it's sponsored. They know what I'm feeling right now in this moment. And I'm going to find out more information, go to their website, and see what they're all about. Okay. Josh, you can skip on and go on here to the next slide. And really, now that we're in this realm, you are to get this kind of shortcut and be able to show at the top, you're paying for this. And so it's important to to really have your business processes dialed in because every call you paid for. And what that means is that you need to be answering your phone. We see all the time people set up pay-per-click. They want us to set up pay-per-click for them. We set it up for them. We we have a tracking software that allows us to hear the calls and see what people are searching. And the call comes in and it rings for 45 seconds and no one picks up the phone. And as an advertiser, it's so frustrating because you're competing so much to get this click in the first place, get them to the website, and then the person calls and then the business doesn't pick up. And it's sad for us for the work we've done, but it's also sad for you because that could have cost you $500. And you basically took the $500 and threw it into the trash can. So this is one of those things. Make sure if you decide to do Google Ads that whoever's answering your calls, you know what their answer rate is. You know that someone's going to pick up the phone because when it comes time to do this, if you're answering those calls, that's business there, and it works out really well for the folks that do have a good response rate, and who also even on the back end, anybody that's filling out form submissions filling your contact form on your website, you're responding to them within a couple hours. So you've got a notification system set up. You've got something, even if it's just on your phone, and you're able to respond back, maybe an auto reply. Those sort of things are really important to have if you're starting to do pay-per-click. And then kind of going into this as well, when we're talking about you're doing the pay-per-click and you've got, I mentioned that you have very specific ads that matches the search. It's also important that the page that the person eventually ends up on also matches what they're searching. So that doesn't mean sending to your homepage, right? If you're doing mold, you're doing water restoration, you're doing even roofing. Some folks are really spread out in what they're doing as a business, and that's you go to the homepage and we see all of that information. Now, someone who's searching specifically about flooding in their basement and needs help right now, we want to be sending them to a page that talks just about that. And what you're doing is you're saying you're specialized in that. Again, you understand where they are, and not very many people do this. And so if you're the one that's doing that and they're clicking on 3 or 4 websites, and you're the only one that's specifically talking about their need, they're going to call you up. So that's really, really important. And that's why this is more at the end of the presentation, because Cameron talked a lot about your website, talked about Google My Business, and now that we're getting into ads, those things are established, and now you're starting to build out pages that are a little bit more unique and can really relate with people when you're paying for these things. And then the last thing here is about understanding what is a profitable cost per lead for your business. So understanding how does this work is how much on average for a certain type of job do you bring in terms of revenue? And what are you willing to have as an overhead cost to create new business there? Is that 10% of that? Is that 20%? And then doing things like, well, I know that this many people that call in on average actually move forward with a job. And now you can start to do the math and understand, okay, a good cost per lead for me is $800. Maybe it's 800 for one business in one area. Maybe for another business in another area, it's 1500. Maybe it's down at 50. But you need to come up with that based upon your business processes. And then you can decide, okay, now that I'm running Google Ads and I'm generating these leads, what are they costing me? And is it actually profitable for my business to continue doing this? Okay. So a lot of these things are really important to do. And for those of you that are thinking about doing this even yourself, and I mean, it's very easy to set up a Google ad campaign, but the thing is that you want to be very careful when you do this. So if you're setting up a new account, what Google will do is actually default you into a smart campaign. And a smart campaign you do not want to be running. Okay. It's like a black box. We've seen people where we've taken over these accounts and they've spent thousands of dollars on a smart campaign. Then we don't know what they're showing for, and and Google's just basically taking their money. And this is one of those things that it's unfortunate that it happens, but Google has its goals as a business, and it's to generate more revenue for them. And it's not always aligning with generating leads for you guys. So what you want to do is you want to be setting up a search campaign. So if you find yourself getting into an area where it says that you're running a smart campaign, get out of there and go to the settings where you have a search campaign. That's where you can do the things that I was talking about, where you're picking the specific terms that you're showing for, and you decide when your ad shows. So that's the big thing here for pay-per-click.
Awesome. Thanks, Sonny. Yeah, that's super important. Yeah, like you said, they want to make as much money, and the more they can get on your credit card and spend that money, whether you're getting leads or not, they don't care. And we've seen a lot of businesses where they go in and they plug their credit card in and just let it go, and they spend $6,000 or $10,000 for a couple months, and then they hate Google Ads and like, this doesn't work. I don't know why anybody does
Yeah,
it. But if you set it up the right way and you know what to watch for and you're careful, then it can be a gold mine for your business for sure, because that's where so many people are searching for. So, you ready to
exactly.
hit that next slide?
Yeah, go ahead and hit the next slide. And yeah, that's the thing that Google makes it so easy to kind of take advantage of you. So you really want to take it one step at a time when you are doing that with the PPC. And then here, moving into local service ads. So we're still in the paid arena here, where you are paying essentially to show in a way. Here, you're with PPC, you're paying for the lead when they click and go to your website. For local service ads, you're paying for the lead itself. So that means they've got a call. That means that they've got to message you. They've got to make contact with you. And this is kind of like a blend of really Google My Business and PPC, if you want to think about it. It is a profile that you need to set up, but it's much more involved in setting up than a simple Google My Business. You go through and you provide all of your business information, your accreditations, that prove essentially that you are legally allowed to provide these services and are certified. And Google even goes and performs a background check on you and sometimes even some of your employees that are in your business. So, and then once you do that, though, the great thing about that is once you go through that process, you now are able to show in almost like another version of a map pack that Cameron explained earlier. And you're putting yourself in a place here where it's a fourth thing that you are now potentially showing up for on the first page of Google. If you've got each of these channels dialed in, you could now, someone could be going through this list and they've got 20 things that they see, and you're showing up four times. You're showing up for PPC, you're showing up on MapPack, and that's the thing where trust starts to factor in here. So this is what the local service ads are, and uh, similar thing as Google My Business, and I you actually sync your Google My Business up with your service ad listing, and all of those reviews that Cameron was talking about that you need to do, those are put in there. And again, the consistency is what helps you rank, and the ability for you to pick up your phone call, those phone calls that come in, get you ranking again. Josh, yeah, you can skip over to the next slide. And it's the same thing here for tips for success. Is that good response rate on the form submissions and the phone calls? And the reason why even more so you want to be responsive here is you're paying for this, but also now we go into where you're a little bit more aligned with Google. Okay. Google he's charging you when someone calls rather than when someone clicks and comes to your website. But Google also, their second mandate, really, if you think about that, is they want to provide the best solution for their customers, the best answer people are searching. And so if you're not picking up your phone, they're going to actually de-rank you because they can see that you're not picking up their call, and they want only businesses, they're only going to list businesses that are going to pick up their phone here. So again, very important to have someone that can be there for the phone when it calls, when it rings and is there. Um, Dialing in again, kind of beating a dead horse here when it comes to the reviews and how important they are. Very important to have those good quality photos, making sure that it's optimized, and then again, understanding what that profitable cost per lead is for your business and having that dialed in. So if you want to do this yourself, local service ads, type that into Google, it'll pop right up. You can go through the application and start that. And then you set what you want your cost per lead to be or what your budget is per day. And then Google will start to show you. Now, Cameron, I know he's got some information as well he'd like to point out. Some people say that you can just set up local service ads and leave it. That's not necessarily the case. There are certain things that you can do after you have it set up to ensure that you're continuing to show at the top of the rankings there.
Yeah, yeah, and thanks for that, Sonny. We've tested a lot of different. I mean, we've managed hundreds of local service ads at this point, and so we've tested kind of everything, and some of it is actually related to targeting, like how you're doing your targeting. We haven't now. There is some odd situations where we see it working out, but most of the time, if people are targeting like just zip codes only, we're not seeing that work very well. So that's like kind of just a good tip for all of you guys. But in that, so since the beginning of the year, Google Business Profile and local service ads have now joined together. Now, you need a Google Business Profile to run local service ads. You didn't need that in the past. So, what is that hinting? Google telling us they're saying that we are taking more and more from this Google Business Profile to actually add credibility to your local service ad because local service ad is an algorithm. We get into some people's accounts when we get started and they're like, I'm not getting any local service ad calls, or I'm getting two a month. And my budget is set for 100,000 a month. I'm willing to spend anything if they just send me a call. And but that's not how it works. So local service ads is an algorithm that you do have to rank, and that's where so many people just don't understand how this works now, and it is a little bit newer. So we've been running these for years. A lot of companies are just even figuring out about it this year because they are newer. And there's even still some companies that don't even do local service ads. But it is an algorithm. So we've created and really done the market research. I've spent 30,000 of my own dollars to get consulting from a company that worked with like PI attorneys, personal injury attorneys, and I asked them, what are you doing to get results in this industry? Because I mean, all of you know, I mean, everywhere you look around your city, there's personal injury attorney ads everywhere, billboards, social media, Google, and everywhere. These companies are spending the most. So we're like, okay, what are they doing to win? And this is where we don't have a ton of time to get deep into it. So if you have more questions, you can inquire more. We're going to get to the end where we're actually going to be giving away 10 of these press releases. But what we're doing is a press release that incorporates your Google Business Profile and it's syndicated across the internet on tons of high authority websites, magazines, news stations, radio stations, and it's getting listed in these websites that send high quality backlinks and signals out to your business. And with that Google Business integration, it's different than a traditional just press release that you just buy on anywhere. I mean, you could go to PR Newswire. There's tons of places you can buy press releases, but we've set it up where we've actually integrated that business profile, which now pushes authority to the Google Business Profile, which then pushes authority to the local service ad. We've tested this over multiple different markets, and we have seen an increase on local service ads drastically when implementing these press releases. So this is something that if we want to get to that next slide, we are available to kind of discuss and talk more about kind of how this all works, specifically that press release strategy, which we don't have a ton of time to get into detail on that. But the first 10 people who do schedule just to learn more and kind of get a discussion on how we or how really just an analysis of what you're currently doing and even if we could help. But the first 10 people that do that, we're actually going to give a press release away for free. So we're putting our money in this because this isn't there's hard costs associated with this. We have to pay the media companies and pay to get it written and pay to get it edited and approved. But we're going to do that for you because we're really excited about it, and it's something that I believe is going to change the industry. We're the first ones to it in this industry. There's not another company in this industry doing that. And that's how much we care about this industry with water restoration. I mean, we want to constantly be innovating. I mean, while all these people are going in and looking at like how they can tell you about different AI things. I mean, we are obviously researching AI, but we want to get you calls. And this is where we've figured out how we can actually get a hack to rank your Google Business Profile and your local service ad. So I'll leave you with that. Definitely scan that QR code, get some time scheduled with, it'll either be with me or someone on our team, and we'll go through and really audit it in detail for you. So again, the first 10 people that do that, we're going to be giving a free press release to, which that's valued, if you were just going to pay for it separately, we charge $997.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I appreciate everything. We scratched the surface. There's so much more when it comes to digital marketing and Google Ads and business profiles and websites. We got a lot in. And one thing I appreciated is you guys set everything up so it's the everything we talked about is stuff that everybody can do themselves and they can get into it. And if and when they need the help, they have the resources you guys available to do that. And if it's something that they want to learn more about or just have a conversation with you guys and say, hey, what about this? And whether right now is the right time to start working with you guys or maybe in the future or point them in the right direction, you guys are there for that as well, especially with your niche in the industry. Um, I got a couple questions that I'm going to throw out to you guys. Some of them we've kind of already answered in the webinar, but I'm going to throw them out and get your guys' input on them. So one of them is the most proven lead gen channels, anything outside the box, and specifically in restoration, we see a lot of people do plumber referrals or roofer referrals that those are just getting bid up like crazy right now because everyone's trying to do it, and plumbers and roofers like if there's so much money, we'll get into the game, or 33-mile radius, or there's all these people that are willing to take your money that may or may not have results, or like with plumbers and roofers, you may get some great leads, but it's not necessarily consistent. And obviously, everything we talked about is a great foundation. But what is, I guess, what if somebody's going to start right now? What is the most important thing that they should focus on first as a foundation that they can grow on?
Yeah, so you said it right there. I mean, plumbers, don't get me wrong, it is a great place to get leads. I mean, we work with companies that generate tons of revenue
Yep.
from plumbers. We actually work with plumbers too. And the reason why we started working with plumbers because we did it because we want to connect our restoration companies with plumbers. So we started running plumbing ads, getting plumbing inquiries. So I personally took some of these calls and I'm talking to them. And some of these plumbers are having 20 business cards on their desk from 1 week of restoration companies, 1 week. And
Yeah.
that's because every franchise on the planet, every webinar, every Facebook post, I mean, every group, they're all promoting call plumbers, call plumbers, call plumbers, go into plumbers' offices. So while it is good, now it's not even about like being even good at selling the plumber. It's just how much are you going to pay the plumber? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what it's going to come down to. So they're going to have to like you, and then you're going to have to sell them it. So that is, like if you're good at sales and you're willing to pay a decent amount per job, that is definitely a good way to get some jobs in. But it is very, very competitive now. Be prepared to have 20 other business cards that week. That is a company that we talked with. We actually connected one of our restoration partners with a plumber that inquired with us and put in a good word. And he's like, oh, you know what? He was one of my 20 business cards on the desk.
Gotcha.
And so it was cool that we could do that. But if you're just getting started out, uh, I would definitely create a Google business profile, whether you hire anyone
Yeah,
or not. I
hands
mean,
down.
yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta start getting reviews.
Mhm.
Okay. Awesome. I appreciate that. And and kind of on that same thing, we see things you kind of mentioned it earlier, or Cameron or said, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Cameron about social media posts, like where you're doing a TikTok dance or whatever it is. Or I see a lot, not a lot, but sometimes I see billboards for restoration companies, um, which is great. I call it just-in-time marketing, and there's probably an official term for it as is when Mrs. Jones is standing in her kitchen and there's 2 inches of water. She's trying to think of who she knows, maybe, but a TikTok dance or a billboard may or may not come to mind. Google Ads is going to be, or online where people go. It's not the yellow pages anymore. They're not trying to remember billboards. Am I kind of on the right track with that? Of that's where you want to get in front of your potential customers is right then, right when right when they need you. So if they're thinking about spending $5,000 on a billboard or spending $5,000 on Google Ads this month, I mean, how would you weigh that and what would your advice be?
Yeah, I mean, hands down, there's research out there now that says in terms of print marketing, it's just doesn't compare in terms of getting a real ROI on what you're spending versus digital marketing. And I mean, we do some work with print marketing. We do some stuff with direct mail, and it works for certain things. But if you're thinking about like the billboard, you're spending basically for all the cars that pass it. And 90% of those cars that are passing by aren't your target audience. Where Google, you're only paying for the people that need to see that. So it's going to be Google Ads in that situation. And it's the dollar, your dollar is going to go a lot farther, for sure.
Love it. Thank you. That makes total sense. Okay, Last one, unless anybody else put something else in. You guys have mentioned a lot about reviews and getting reviews. Obviously, you have to have a Google business profile and ask people to go, and that has to be set up to get the reviews. How do you recommend getting the reviews? I finish drying and I do the rebuild, or maybe I'm just doing the mitigation portion, so I do the dry out and I'm walking out the door and they sign the certificate of satisfaction and say, "See you later, thanks so much. By the way, we hit me up on Google reviews." How do you recommend not just saying, "Hey, will you go give me a Google review?" Because obviously they have to go find you and write it and things like that. What can you do to boost that to actually get them Google reviews? Is that sending them a link or an email, or what would you guys suggest on that?
Yeah, so we do this for some of our clients, a review campaign where we can get a pass list of all your clients and then actually blast out and get reviews. That is the secondary option. So as you said it, you're in the person's house, you're getting them to sign. What you do is pull out a QR code, which you can make one or we could make one for you, and have them scan the QR code and say, "Hey, could you please leave me a review?" Now, if someone's upset with you, don't do that.
Yeah.
Uh, don't pull out the QR code if they're mad, but try and resolve the situation first. But bring out the QR code. Hey, can you please leave me a review right now? Because I know that you are not going to leave me a review if you say you will. And you can literally tell them that, like say, look, like I've been doing this a long time, and we come into people's houses and everyone says they're so happy they're going to leave us a review. And then if you go look on our profile, we have 4 reviews, and it's like, man, like no one ever leaves us a review. So could you please leave it right now? And whatever way that you creatively come up with telling them to do it right now is the way that you need to do it. Because if they don't do it right now and tell you they're going to do it later, they're not going to do it because they could have every intention of doing it, and maybe 2% are going to do it.
Yeah. Makes sense, yeah. And why they're there and they're happy. And obviously, like you said, if they're unhappy, figure out why they're unhappy and make the situation better. But their goal is to have every client thrilled when you leave. But yeah, make them your cheerleader while you're there and they're happy. Make them your cheerleader right then. And so, like you said, if they have the intention, they probably won't come back and do it. But while they're happy in your house, then that's a great way to do it. I love it.
And don't be afraid to ask them to do it now.
Yeah,
And whatever way you have to do it to ask them to do it now, if you need to explain, hey, like genuinely, I'm just trying to get more reviews and no one's leaving them. So could you please do it now? It sounds awkward and depending on the situation, I mean, you have to approach it differently, but don't be afraid to ask them to do it now. The people that we see get the most reviews. Another thing that you can do is incentivizing your team. So let's say it's not you out there, it's your team. Offer your team $25 gift cards, $50 gift cards. Watch the reviews fly in when your team gets money for getting reviews. Because now
makes
they're going to tell them do it right now.
for
You know,
sure. Yeah, they're gonna get those reviews. And
yeah.
yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. So as far as reviews, you mentioned giving your team. This is kind of we'll wrap up here in just a sec. You mentioned paying your team for reviews. Are you allowed to? Is it against Google reviews? Obviously, to incentivize a customer to say, "Hey, I'm going to send you a gift card if you do this or whatever." Is that against the rules? Because I've seen some people mention that. Or do you just want them organic? 'Cause I've seen people do it both ways, and just want to make sure we get
Yeah.
the rules right of that.
Yeah, so you don't pay the customer. I mean, yeah, you're not paying the customer to do it, but you're incentivizing your team, and your team I mean, they're a part of your company, so you can pay them whatever you want. I mean, if you want to tell them, hey, I'm going to give you an extra $1,000 if you get one review. I mean, then again, I mean, I'm not like a attorney, so it's not like legal advice, but
Yeah, yeah,
For Google's algorithm and for their rules and really their terms of service, you can't pay the customer to
yeah.
get reviewed. Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. And that's what I was getting at is I've seen some things where people offer it's like, hey, if you leave it, we'll give you a $25 gift card to Starbucks or whatever, and you want to do that. And then if you find that company that's paying $1,000 to get a Google review, let me know and I will go work over there for sure. So,
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And going back is if you're in Mrs. Jones' house, I think people also understand how important online reviews are now. And so if you approach it fun and friendly and say, hey, you're happy, this is a really important thing for my business and for me and my family, and it's how we put food on the table. I think most people these days understand the importance of that, and I think they'll be willing to do that for sure. So.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, I think that's going to wrap us up. We're a few minutes over time. I think that kind of got through all the questions. I appreciate it. We will send this webinar recording. It's going to take a day or two to edit it and get it from Zoom and everything. We'll send it out to everybody that was here. And then if you just register for the webinar as well. But scan that QR code. There's the website. Everyone will get it. But we'll wrap it up there. Sunny and Cameron, thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today. And I'll let you guys go
Thank
and
you
enjoy
all.
the rest of your afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Josh. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.